home, and a bit of a slow start, but didn't make any videos for the past 2 days just because I've been busy and didn't really have the time. But now I'm back and had some time to think about the tech stack I was gonna use, and I realized that Java as a backend would have been good if this was an actual backend project, but it's sort of a full stack project, which means the only backend that I really need is kind of just keeping track and sending some data around, keeping track of data basically. So there's not really that much requirements for anything in the backend, but there is a big issue with using Java, and that's asynchronous and synchronous calls. I don't think it's a big problem, but the issue right now is with Java. I haven't done concurrency, or I don't know how to program using concurrency and having everything asynchronous and stuff, and I don't want to spend time trying to figure out how to build it asynchronously. So I'm just gonna stick with what's familiar and use JavaScript and Express for the server, which is pretty useful for asynchronous and web server things. But today, I'm just gonna make the prototype, the flow diagram, and sort of a roadmap for what I'm gonna do in the future. It's not a coding video today because I'm probably not gonna do that much coding, if any. But first thing I'm just gonna do is go onto GitHub and create the new repository. It's gonna be called habit lock, if I spell that correctly. Make it private, I guess. And probably should have done whatever. So we have this, and then we just import it onto Visual Studio Code. Actually, we don't even need to do that yet. You know what? Let me just. What did I just do? It's annoying. Doesn't give me an option to open Visual Studio Code here, like open with or anything. Whatever, we don't need that. Let's do that here. Get the habit lock. Here we are. Okay. So now we can do this. And oh my god, it's annoying. Okay. So now we have this folder, right? And prototyping basically just means laying everything out, making sure that everything exists, setting it up. Also, another thing is I don't know how to set up a JavaScript backend project. So if I were to do a Java, if I was to do a Java backend, I would have to figure out how to actually do that, and that's gonna take some time which I cannot afford. I mean, I can afford, but I just don't want to. I'm just gonna stick with the basics. The only thing that's kind of different is maybe TypeScript and maybe Postgres for this project, in comparison to like other projects I've done. But the hard part is gonna definitely be tapping into the firewall, basically, right? Because the only problem with this is the only way that I know how to block websites and stuff is through the firewall, by just basically denying access, because the firewall has access to the network, I guess, or the Wi-Fi, and it kind of just restricts any traffic coming in from there, which means if this was a web application, it will be quite an interesting one because that means that a web app is going to have access to the firewall, which is not exactly very secure. But ideally, if there was an app, it might be a bit better because it could just be like an application on your device and not really send any data anywhere else besides, I guess, the backend server, which is keeping track of everything basically. Or I could use SQLite and just have the database done locally, and then you could just load a server on your own local machine. Options. Anyways, a lot to think about. Is there anything I need to change? Not really. Okay. Because there's no reason for me to have the application up. Well, I have the application linked to my backend. It could just be completely done locally. But anyways, we're gonna initialize a React app here. Name it front end. How come it never gives me an option to do TypeScript? Using TypeScript. Next.js. What in the world? Right, I just need to install types. Okay, that's fine. So we'll wait for this to load, and I guess while we're waiting, we can just set up the backend as well. Ruin template. Alright, anyways. So the backend is mostly set up. I don't know if I need anything else. Server.js. Can't really read it. So I'm just gonna set this up and then app.get. Listen. It was. Just do a const port. I like to use 88 for some reason, but use whatever thing you want. On my keyboard doesn't have the weird asterisk one, so it kind of doesn't work. So I'm just going to package.json and then start up a new script. Run node1 server. And then just do run start. Right. Okay, and then now we have this, and it prints out hello world whenever you go onto it. I forgot to do res.json. It's on me. It's res.send. Res, and then do the same thing. Should send hello world here. Maybe not. I need to restart it. Right. Hello world. There we are. So that's the base boilerplate for the back end, which we have working, and then the front end. I have to install this. Okay, so it's kind of like casting in Java, which is not too bad. I mean, generics in Java. Interesting. Okay. That's cool, I guess. Let's Tailwind 2 for CSS. Did I init? I did not init. Oh, I did it in the wrong place. Whoopsies. Index.css. Down there, up there, and then just test that it's working. Go here, and then what's the learn React? Is it an app.js? Okay, let's do. Yeah, that looks like it's working. Great. So now we got the boilerplate for that, and it's kind of all I need. I mean, I guess I could set up Postgres. I should set it up on my local device first. Go to terminal, see if I have it installed. I do not have it installed, okay. Okay. Get Postgres 16. Downloads Windows. Alright. Download the installer. EDB. Alright. Close this. And close this. What else do we need? Express is set up. JavaScript is set up. Tailwind is set up. TypeScript is set up. React is set up. Just need Postgres. Okay, cool. I'll take this, load it, and then what else am I doing today? The diagram, the flow diagram. So I'm just gonna turn this into a lucid chart, basically. If I have not this one, please, please and thank you. While you wait for that, we can do this. Have a user. He's just gonna be right here. Let's set this up. So while Postgres is loading, point this to here. I guess. It's a bit small. I feel like we should make everything bigger. Maybe not that big. Yes. You don't need to do this, but I feel like I should just for fun. Just because having it written down somewhere is good. So that way we can kind of visualize how it would look on the front end too, because this is pretty much going to be what's being asked on the front end, ideally. And then finally it goes to front page. And then there we are. Actually, I feel like those should be here. Oops. Just because it should go here anyways. Right? No. It changes. Yeah, that's good. And then this goes to here basically. Yeah, that's good. Front page. Okay. No. That's an okay graph. I mean, we're gonna add on to it eventually, like add more stuff onto it later. But for now, I think that's pretty good. So the user goes here. Are you struggling? Yes. Then right here. If not, do you want to cultivate? Yes. Go here. Make this bigger maybe. Make these ones bigger too. It's not boldened. Yes, yes, no, no, and then yeah, it's pretty solid. Take that. I'll have to export it. It's weird. PNG. Let's get a PNG of it. Maybe later. Download. And we have our generated diagram. Just like that. Not too bad. It's called traffic light. I don't know why. But it's fine. I'll move this down here. With it. That's good. Okay, and then Postgres is still installing. Front end pages. Yeah, I think this one's orange maybe. I don't have any green ones. Oh wait, red is done. Whoops. Diagram representation. It's kind of never going to be done. Same with this. these two. Target audience, it's kind of done. I'm just gonna say it's done. Programming. So this is the next stage basically. We're basically done with this. There's not much else here. It's kind of just doing the prototyping and then made the diagram. And I guess we can have a roadmap. So roadmap. Here's where it gets somewhat interesting, right? We can either start with the front end or the back end first. Now, if we start with the back end, it's kind of hard to visualize what the application will look like. But if we start with the front end, it's mostly design, and I don't like design. But I think with this, it'll be more centric towards front end anyways. So front end first, right? So the first thing, decide on pages, right? All the necessary pages, whether it's have a page or a front page or settings page, stuff like that, right? The next one is build base look for, I guess, design page looks. What is this? What is stack builder? Do I have Postgres? Interesting. Okay. Decide on how the page looks. Style. Build skeleton, I guess. And then after this, you kind of work on the back end because you need functionality, right? And by this point, hopefully, I already have figured out what backend APIs I need, you know? So, there's a very simple roadmap right now, but it's a start. Okay? So the first one, you can just think about habit page. This is the most important one. This is the one that everyone's going to be looking at, right? A front page, which is like, you know, just like the landing page. I should say it's landing page, not front page. Maybe a profile page. And yeah, that's it for now. That's kind of it for today. It's kind of a short video, but real coding isn't going to start until I guess tomorrow. So yeah, it's that. It's not as, you know, layered in terms of the content as it was yesterday. I mean, as it was like a few days ago before I was doing this. But it is a start, you know. It's the second step, you know. The first step's the hardest, the second step's usually the harder. Second hardest. And it kind of just goes on like that. On and on and on until you're done. So yeah, nice. We kind of have understanding of how this should look and how it should be built. I think that is a big struggle for a lot of people who are just starting off and have no clue where to go. You know, it's hard. It is indeed hard. You know, but if you have some systems in place and you kind of know a bit about what it should look like and what it should be like, kind of started there, then it's pretty good. It's pretty good to do these modelings. It doesn't have to be like very pretty. It could just be something that you can understand and you know gives you all the information necessary for yourself to understand. And I'm still trying to figure out why PSQL doesn't work. Not work. Path. Edit. Wait, is it? System variables or user variables? System, right? Would I install Postgres? Let's see. Would I install it? Oh man. Let me just reinstall it to see where I installed it. You know? It's here, no? I thought I just saw Postgres. Maybe not. Where? C program files 16. Okay. C program files Postgres 16. This is where I go. Lib. Alright. See if this helps. Okay. Still does not work. Fantastic. Anyways. Add the bin and the lib. Okay, fine. I see. There we go. And I forgot my password. God damn it. How? Anyways, I'll worry about this at different times. That's it for today. I'll do some stuff tomorrow maybe. Alright, bye.